Howdy, howdy, howdy. Come on in, pull up a chair, kick up your feet, and relax. Because today I am be unboxing and taking a first look at the core set for the new edition of Pathfinder Adventure Card Game from Paizo Inc. Looks kind of interesting. Alakazam! Hi there, and welcome aboard. I'm Jeff McAleer, the Grand Poobah of thegaminggang.com, as well as the host of the live stream here on YouTube, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central, the Daily Dope. So welcome aboard. Glad you could join me today. I'm going to be taking a look at the new core set for Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, or I should say the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. I am not overly familiar with the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, at least the first edition. I have played around with it a little bit on my iPad, but the actual physical game itself, I have not had an opportunity to check out. So I have heard this new edition has streamlined a few things. I don't believe they're radically massive changes made to the gameplay aspects of the adventure card game, but I'm interested in taking a peek, seeing what's going on. So, as I mentioned, the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game core set is from Paizo Inc. It is designed by Chad Brown, Keith Richmond, Aviva Schechterson, Mike Selenker, and Liz Spain. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 90 minutes per adventure. This core set is available right now, and it does carry an MSRP of $59.99. So let's swing on over to the other camera here and jump on into this. So the box has a good amount of heft. I'll take a stab that we've probably got some room in here for some expansion cards and so on. So I'm going to take the shrink wrap off, because when I do an unboxing video, it really is an unboxing video. And I'll read a little bit of what's on the back here. Do want to mention, I also have some promo cards. So we will take a look at this pack of promo cards. I also do have the Curse of the Crimson Throne, the first expansion for the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. I will be taking a look at that in another future video. In fact, probably be shooting that tomorrow, so just so you know. Anyway, so it says, your adventure begins here. Belhaim's tower is collapsed, its wizard is missing, and kobolds are whispering the name of a long-dead draconic nemesis. And it's just your first day in town. This complete cooperative strategy game pits 1 to 4 players against monsters, perils, and traps as you become the heroes of Belhaim. As the tower's new champions, you will find an unending world of adventure awaits. Choose your character's class, build a deck of equipment, magic, and allies, and explore lethal locations as you journey through an exciting fantasy tale. As your adventures continue, your characters add remarkable gear and breathtaking magic to their decks as they gain incredible powers, all of which they'll need to challenge more and more powerful threats. All right, so we've got a bunch of cards. I do know that. I believe there's over 400 cards in this core set. So let's get this on open here. And of course, I will zoom in so we get a closer look at these cards as well. So a couple of folks who I had mentioned that I was going to be doing an unboxing and of course a review in the future about the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game were asking about the Pathfinder Adventure Card Society. So if you want to learn more about that, I did an interview. It's from Origins. It's just from a couple of weeks back. If you want to learn more, that is on the channel. So we've got a little quick start guide. It says read me first. So it's telling us about organizing cards, getting set up and starting, understanding your characters. So your characters all have different skills, powers, and decks. And you get feats. You can gain them by spending hero points. So there is an aspect to the Pathfinder adventure card game where your characters actually kind of level up as you play. And you unlock new additional skills and feats and things like that. That's one of the cool aspects of the adventure card game, because it's trying to be a role-playing game, a fantasy role-playing game that's a card game. So we're talking about a little bit of walkthrough for the first turn, some general advice, encountering the villain, and after the scenario. So then we've got some deck lists for the characters here. So we've got Amari and Lini, Sejan, Siani. Then we got locations, Banes and Boons, Story, Banes and Proxies, Hourglass, and the Vault. So telling us what cards there are and how many of those cards there are as well. So this is not truly a deck building game. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. I believe there are some deck building aspects to this, but it's not a true deck builder. Now, one of the things that I do know is new are these storybooks. These were not in the original Pathfinder adventure card game. So we're going to be taking a look at this in just a moment. It looks like we've got some tokens. We've got some pawns as well. So that's kind of interesting. So we're going to take a look at the rulebook here, and I am actually going to zoom in just a touch. So as we take a peek at this, actually I zoomed in too much. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, so this is the full rule book. So this was just a little quick start guide to kind of give us an idea of how we're going to play this. Now we do get the rules here. And it looks like we've got all of about 11 pages of actual rules. So it's talking about the object of the game. So obviously enough, the object of the game is to defeat the villains and to be victorious in the scenario. It says to win many scenarios, your party of adventurers must locate, defeat, and corner a threatening villain. Some scenarios don't have a villain. You win these by closing all of that scenario's locations before a timer called the Hourglass runs out. Other scenarios have multiple villains or even more unusual victory conditions. In those cases, the scenario itself will tell you how to win it. So it's talking about some card basics, talking about card sets, using the rule book. Golden rules. Gonna take a guess. The golden rule probably says that whatever text is on the card is going to override whatever's in the rule book. So let's see what it says. If the storybook cards or rules are ever in conflict, wow, the storybook overrides the cards, and the cards override the rules. So I had part of that right. Huh, that's interesting. It's talking about traits, talking about symbols or numbers. Oh, okay, so it's just the number symbol here. Talking about what that represents, and it represents a number. Okay, so deck list proxies. Proxies are generic cards that normally stand in for villains and henchmen when multiple copies of those cards are needed in a scenario. Okay. Strategy. Where should you sit? Huh. One of the most interesting decisions comes before you even start playing a scenario. Who sits where? I would think you would probably sit in the order of what initiative's probably going to be based on your character. Oh, so it's talking about each specific character where they should sit. Huh, okay. So, getting started and setting up, showing us the setup for a typical game. So it's kind of interesting. So we've got like the main rules running through here. So we've got, two columns. And then it looks like we've got all these kind of, almost like a role-playing game has, these little sidebars, talking about different aspects, kind of expanding on the rules that are right here. Interesting. So we've got some strategy, we've got some examples, looks like kind of drilling down into the rules a little bit as well. Got a little bit of artwork mixed throughout, not a ton, so we are not we're not getting gypped on the rules, I'll tell you that much. So like I said, the actual rules started about page 6, and then page 16 is after this scenario. So this is probably where you're going to get your almost like your experience points and other, treasure, gear, things like that. So all in all, about 10 pages of rules, keeping in mind we've got these sidebars with all this additional information. Talking about play it your way. Before each scenario, decide whether you want to make the game easier, usually making it shorter as well, or harder, usually making it longer. Okay. Nice. This looks interesting. Like I said, I did mess around a little bit with the app game on my iPad. I didn't delve really, really deeply into it. I was having fun, but like everything, I only have so much time I can devote to other things before the gaming gang starts to suffer. So, which does happen from time to time. I will start playing like a PC game and be like, yeah, I know I should probably be writing articles for the gaming gang, but damn, I'm having too much fun. So we get some deck suggestions. So there are actually quite a few characters. It looks like there were only 4, but here looks like we've got a dozen. Now, I don't know if all 12 of these are in this core set. We're going to find out. Now we got some things to keep in mind. We got a glossary and a reference sheet. So, all in all, what we got? 32 pages, but really 10, 11 are the actual rules of the game. We're going to take a look at the storybook. We are just going to really quickly browse through this. I want to try to avoid spoilers. So we're just going to take a quick look. I do apologize if we see something that's like a big reveal. So just kind of getting an idea what the storybook actually looks like. So we've got first scenario. So it's adventure number 1. So we got like 1B as far as the scenario goes. 1C. 2A. 2B. Well, not to be. 2C. 3A. 3B. Do we have a 3C? Yes, we do. So, kind of like 9 chapters? 9 chapters, 3 parts? 3 acts, maybe we could say? Nice. And then we've got surviving the siege. So that must be the final aspect of this. All right, so there we go. So that's that. Now, we also have some punch boards, just a couple. Oh, no, 3, I'm sorry. We've got some punch boards. We've got some tokens here. We also have some pawns. So we're gonna zoom in, get a better look at these. So that's kind of wild. These actually have a little bit of I'll kind of try to catch the light with it. Almost like a little bit of raised surface on these tokens here. So I'm taking a guess each player is probably going to take one of these designs of tokens. So then we've got, looks like the heroes. Looks like these are hero tokens. And they are dual-sided. So these are hero points. And then we've got some more of the heroes on this one as well. And then we've got some more tokens and some more of the heroes. So that is that. Now, let's take a look. So as I figured, the box does have plenty of space for us to add expansions to it. So we've got some we got different decks of cards. It looks like we've got some dice. We've got some stands for our pawns. So it looks like we've got a standard set of dice. What are we missing? A 20-sider? Yep, no 20-sider. So we got characters and roles. Open me first. So we got these. And then as you can see, we've got the inserts. This is just, these will easily fill back out once you put something in there. So, okay. So let's take a look. And we're gonna just kind of take a peek at some of these cards. We're not going to dive in and look at every single card in here, but it says open me first. So we will open this first. So I'm curious, as the rule book goes flying off, it's off the table, off that away. I'm like, okay, well, we'll be grabbing that after the video's over. So I'm curious if these are, like, these have to stay in a certain order for, like, the adventures or what. So let's see what it says. You'll use the cards in this pack to play through an introductory scenario. See the quick start guide for instructions. If you've played the game before and want to see what's new, see the transition guide on page 26 of the rulebook. If you've already mixed your cards together, never fear, a list of the cards you need appears on the back of the quick start guide. Oh, okay. That's cool. So it's not as if, oh my gosh, these got mixed up. Okay, so we've got some character cards. So these are kind of like the 4 starting cards. And if you notice, I will actually zoom in a little bit more here so we can get a better look at this. If you notice on the card, we've got little boxes for you to mark off. So your character actually improves as you play. So that's one thing that I do want to mention. Of course, you could obviously use a piece of scratch paper instead of actually writing on the card. But one of the aspects with the Pathfinder Adventure card game is that some of the cards you would write on, you would mark on, unless, of course, you put them in sleeves and then use like a dry erase marker. I think that would probably work. So we get info about the character, and we get a deck list. Favorite card is a melee weapon. So we got Lini, Sejan, Sioni, and then we start getting into some of the various different cards here. So I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. So it's showing us different powers for the axe. And you see we've got a backing here. Whereas these are character cards, so they're two-sided. These aren't, so they are going to have the Pathfinder Adventure card game backing on it. So we've got a battle axe, a long spear, long sword, warhammer, chain shirt, so these are different items, compass, crowbar, horse, soldier, benefaction, so these are spells. Yep, so we've got orison, prayer. You notice there's not a lot of duplicates so far that we see. It's just, well, we see 2 of the prayers, but a dagger, aid, cure, fiery glare, revitalize, viper strike. I'm going to take a guess these may be kind of sorted by character. Possibly. Because I'm taking a guess that various different colors on the bar up top denote what it is. So gray may be armor. Green are items. I think kind of like black are weapons. Blue are allies. Yeah. Looks like that's what the case is there. That's kind of wild. Okay, so we could have this this tiger or this frog as our ally. I think we might want the tiger. Snake. Well, got a couple of spell dupes there. Dog slicer. Well, obviously that's for goblins. Elixir of healing. Luckstone. Pretty cool. So these look like these are. Oh, look at that. Mouse. Oh, we got the mouse on our side. Looks like a lot of these cards are going to be for the player characters. For the characters' decks. Is what it appears to me. Oh, no. Now we start getting into locations. Yep. It's got a campsite location, caravan location, trail location. Now we got monsters. A blood bug, dire badger, dire boar, goblin troublemaker. Why? I thought all goblins were troublemakers. Rat swarm, swamp ooze, lost local. So we got some barriers. There's a lot of stuff going on here. This looks cool. This looks very cool. Life drain. Boots of friendly terrain. These boots are made for walking. Very cool. All right, so there are some monsters in there. So I wonder if this deck is just kind of, this deck is sort of that introductory adventure. Now, there are core cards in here that you're going to utilize probably a lot, even with the expansions and stuff. Okay, so that was that deck there. Now, we've also got, so it's got to be, this has got to be the starting deck, because then we got another deck here. Well, actually, these are separator cards, I'll tell you that. It's exactly what these are going to be. But we've got another deck here that starts off with characters. Got another one with items here, and another one that starts off with spells. We're going to take a peek, but I'm taking a guess that this is probably like our starting introductory adventure. I'm like, these cards will be used for other things too, but I'm sure that's what's all in here. So real quick, we'll take a peek at the divider cards. Yeah, because that was the first thing I kind of was wondering when I pulled these out. I didn't notice that these were larger than the other cards. I thought, oh, wait a second, aren't there any separators? Aren't there any dividers here? Yeah, so characters and roles. This is just give us an idea of the different cards that we've got. So we've got characters and roles. We got locations, scourges, yikes, wild cards, other support cards, proxies, story banes, monsters, barriers, weapons, spells, armors, items, allies, blessings. Oh, okay, so blue are blessings. Removed from the game. Future adventures. Character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and special. Okay, so I take a guess here, like character 1. This is where like you're gonna take the cards for your specific character that you've been playing with, and you're gonna use this to separate and keep your cards together. It's cool. I like that. Pretty nice. All right, let's take a look at this deck here. Plenty of cards in here, I'll tell you that. And we won't take as close a look as we did before. We'll just kind of flip on through a little bit. Mainly, I want to see these characters. So we got Ezran, Human Wizard. So it tells you down here what they are. Not sure what the little symbol here means. Oh, I bet you I know what it is. I bet you this is this is from the core set. I bet you each expansion will have a little symbol down here, so you know which set it's from. So then we've got a Goblin Alchemist, got a Dwarf Ranger, got a Human Cleric, we got a Halfling Bard, an Elf Rogue, Human Paladin. For some strange reason, I think a lot of these characters are kind of like, I don't want to say core characters, but kind of heroic characters from the actual role-playing game. See artwork of these characters a lot in the role-playing game, because I'm used to seeing this character here. I'm used to seeing the Cleric right there. I've seen this character before too. And then we get their roles. So it tells us what the role is. So resistance fighter, I should say. Mystical diviner, boom shaker. I guess they each get 2 roles that you can choose from. That's cool. I like that. So we can get a dragon hunter or a warden. Now I'm taking a look here. Yeah. Because I thought, well, maybe one of them is as they level up, but it looks, no, they look very similar. Okay, so cool, we got those. So we got some more locations. Then we've got a lot of locations here. Cool. And each of the adventures in the storybook actually is telling us what cards we need to utilize. So, wow, a lot of locations there. Then we got scourges. Drained, exhausted, frightened. Oh, they're almost like conditions. Okay, so then we got henchman, proxy, A bunch of proxies here. Villain proxy. The Onslaughts, which is a wild card. Alright, so we got some monsters there. We got some more weapons. There we go. Purple are spells. Cool deal. Alright. Cool. So we got that's that deck. And real quickly, we'll look at these other two decks as well. A lot going on in this, I can tell you that right now. As you can see, it's obviously not a deck builder either because, well, or not a traditional deck builder, because we're not getting tons and tons of duplicate cards. So, like, for an example, you usually have, in a deck builder, everybody gets their starting deck of, like, 10 cards, 8 cards, and it's usually a lot of dupes, a lot of low-level cards. So we got a bunch of items here, another ally, Storybanes, more monsters, Accursed Priests, a Ghoul, Giant Fly, Giant Toad. Can we use our Frog ally against the Giant Toad? Then we got barriers, more weapons, more spells, some more items, more allies. Got some more blessings too. Okay. And let's look at this final deck. So it looks like we start off with some blessings. More Storybanes, more monsters. Now I notice there's a 2 up here, so I'm wondering if this is now, these are kind of leveling up, or these are like difficulty, kind of like difficulty levels or challenge levels, I guess we could say. Because now we're seeing a lot of stuff that's 2. Weapon 2, Spell 2. Allies 2. Storybane 3. Monster 3, yeah. I'm taking a guess. Symbol of Insanity. Yeah, I would say these are probably going up in level. And it's like everything. It's like armor, items, monsters. They're all going up to level 3 here. So, sweet. All right, so we've got, I will zoom back out. So we've got the various decks, and I'm going to kind of put them the way they were in here originally. Open Me First deck was down here. Now I'm going to zoom back out a little bit more. There he goes. This was in here. We've got the dice. Is there anything else? Nope. That was it. The dice and the stands. Might as well put those there. And we'll put these decks up in here. Then, as I mentioned, I did get a few promo cards. I got a little pack of promo cards. So let's real quick take a look to see these promo cards here. So it's like the Real Rabbit Prince. It's like a blessing. Oh, I see it says P1. So I'm thinking that's probably promo 1 or promo level 1. So we've got the Real Rabbit Prince Blessing, the Tall Knife, the Unveiling. We got an ally, a P5, because I think these are the levels again. I think the numbers are the levels still. Embiggen, it's a spell, and Corpse Plate, armor. Cool. All right, so those are the promos. I'll actually slide the promos into this here to separate those out. So we've got over 400 cards. I think it's over 440 cards. We've got the punch boards with the tokens as well as the standees, the pawns. We've got the storybook. Oh, we got the rule book. Oh, I guess the quick start sheet was what kind of flew off there, off the table, off camera. And that is what we find when we take everything from the Pathfinder adventure card game, the brand new edition, outside the box. And of course, as I had mentioned previously, I will be reviewing the Pathfinder adventure game core set in the very near future. So there you have it. I do want to point out, don't forget to catch my live Monday through Friday stream, The Daily Dope, right here on YouTube. And as I like to say, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Come on, by now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And until next time, thanks for watching. If you're ready for some more fun and you'd like to check out the latest episode of The Daily Dope, my live Monday through Friday show that airs at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube, click right here. And if you'd like to roll the dice and push your luck and see a randomly selected video from the channel, click right here. You pays your money, you takes your chances. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thank you for watching.